My daughter, one time when she was young, probably 4 or 5 years old, was walking with Candy to the car out of the grocery store. And she looked up to Candy and said, "Mom, you're just a two-dimensional character trying to live in a three-dimensional world." And Candy looked at her and just laughed because that's just how our daughter is and always has been. And we talk about this in our episode of Dan and Can podcast, our Candid Conversation, where we're talking about this identity in Christ when we were in the faith. In full disclosure, my daughter regurgitated that quote from a SpongeBob episode where he said that there, but it fits in how we used to live in our faith when we were full-blown evangelical Christians. We were two-dimensional creatures trying to live in a three-dimensional world, but more aptly, avoiding trying to live in that three-dimensional world, and it just didn't work because we were content and happy in our identity. I remember everything we did had to be centered and focused around Christ. Every decision of the day that we made would be, what would Christ think of this? What would Jesus do in this situation, if you will? Having the little wristbands to look and remind us all day long. Everything had to be God and Christ centered and focused. And it eliminated us from even looking into ourselves and who we wanted to be, because who we had to be was what Christ wanted us to be in our life, not what we wanted to be. And where were we getting this information on what Christ wanted? But from no other than the preachers and the pastors we listened to on the radio, or books that we would read and tell us, this is what the Christ-centered life looks like. This is what you have to do for this. Benefit the system is what it all boiled down to. And also being put on top of that, the fear of trying to live in that three-dimensional world that was sitting around us at all times. So we sat as flat as a piece of paper, two-dimensional, not operating or existing in the world to its full potential, but just trying to get by with being what we were. A little side action in the background, something that the rest of the world could kind of gloss over because we had to fear that. That world was going to pull us away from our Christ-centered focus. Well, eventually we decided we wanted to be 3D in this 3D world, and we left the church and found the beauty and explored what was out there for us. And most importantly, we found what we were to be in this world. We found out who we are, what we wanted, what we appreciated. And nothing can take that away from us now. And it's something I appreciate more than anything else in this life.